Arsenal Invincible, Martin Keown, good morning.
Good morning.
Did you think your boys were going to do it yesterday at Stamford Bridge? 10-man Chelsea?
I don't think Chelsea are ever going to get a better chance, are they, really? When you think that two of those centre-halves who've been probably the best in Europe were missing, I thought the two lads coming in, it was a little bit shaky, but I thought Nketiah particularly really played his way into the game. Credit to Chelsea. You know, they had, I thought they were overly motivated or over-aroused, is a comment that Simon usually uses.
Yeah.
When I'm sat next to
Caicedo was, I don't know what was going on there, but, you know, I know you've got to be aggressive, but I think he got the balance wrong. He probably did Arsenal a favour.
Yeah. Well, is it a good point for Arsenal or a missed opportunity in their eyes as well? This was Arteta after the game.
Really intense. You could sense from the beginning that every duel, every action has something on it. Two teams very willing to win, and not much football. It was a lot of restarts, a lot of free kicks, stops, a lot of yellow cards. So not a lot of fluidity. But after the sending off of Caicedo, obviously we wanted to settle the game. We didn't manage to do that. We had more yellow cards. We had 4 yellow cards. Obviously, those players were constantly targeted to try to even the game in terms of numbers. And at halftime, we said, okay, let's pause it now. Let's now get what we have to do, very clear what the intention and how we're going to dominate the game. In the first action, long ball, gives a free kick, wide free kick, corner, consider set piece. So then the momentum shifts, and emotionally, the team have to react to that. We managed to get some good spells.
We'll get back to this video in just a second, but first I want to talk to you about this. This is the Nextbase Pico, and this will keep you and other people safe on the roads this festive period. It's a connected compact dash cam which will record every single journey you make in high definition, and they've got a cheeky little offer going on at the moment, which I think you will like. Now, we know what people are like on the roads. We've all been driving to see friends and family and got cut up by someone, and maybe you're going to a racetrack and you're going to go and watch the professionals do it, and there's probably a lot of professionals not out there on the motorways of the UK. Well, look, this will record everything in high definition, sharp detail. There is a 1K and a 2K version, so whatever happens, it means you've got evidence for whatever goes on the roads. It's not just about the footage though. The Pico's packed with smart safety features that every driver needs, and of course it's from the UK's leading dashcam brand, which was recently crowned Trusted Review's best dashcam of 2025. It's super compact, even I can install it and you won't even notice it on your windscreen. Now pair it with the Nextbase app, set it up, control it from there. It couldn't be simpler for you. There's even a smart parking feature that keeps an eye on your car while you're away, automatically recording if it detects any movement or impact. And trust me, my car just got hit by something in the wind and I'm livid because I didn't have a dash cam installed. Now, if the worst does happen, the emergency SOS system can alert emergency services and share your exact location to help you get help faster. And with Witness Mode Lite, you can quickly alert a friend or family member if you feel unsafe on the road, which is definitely something I reckon parents should be thinking about. And with prices starting at under £100, it's pretty obvious that this would make a fantastic stocking filler this festive period. And actually, you can save yourself 40 quid because between the 6th of November and the 3rd of December, you will get that amount off, making this £59 for the 1K version, which means you could probably put that 40 quid towards going and watching some UK racing. Loads of winter racing going on, which I'm sure you'll have a great time at. You could also treat your family to a meal, but let's face it, just look after yourself. So protect your journeys with confidence this festive season. Visit the Nextbase website for more information, and also pop into Halfords, Argos, Currys and other retailers today. Stay safe, stay connected and enjoy the road ahead.
Yeah, at the same time though, Martin, when it goes to 10 men so early in the game, I often think, right, that this is Arsenal's now. This, you know, the team that's got 11, this is their big moment, but it doesn't always work out like that, and I never really know why, because it's a huge advantage to the side who keeps 11 on the pitch.
Yeah, you'd have thought obviously Arsenal would have taken the momentum, so there's a tinge of disappointment there. But I think Chelsea, that's the 4th time this season that they've been asked to go to 10 men. It hasn't gone well a few times. They've changed the system. Yesterday I thought they did quite well. Fernandes just dropping back into the 4, so it was 2 banks of 4. It was quite difficult for for Arsenal. And then the period when they scored, the start of the second half, you settle it all down. They scored 2 minutes in from a set piece, which was a big blow for Arsenal. But when they got back into the game, Jim, and then, of course, they had to sacrifice, didn't they, Zupimendi. I call him Supermendy. He's that good. I think he's almost the most important player alongside Declan Rice. Took him off, went after Chelsea. It got a little bit scrappy. They got a bit disjointed. They didn't quite have that rhythm, but you'd expect that. A lot of players coming back from injury, Jim, that came off the bench.
But do I get the impression this morning, rightly or wrongly, you're putting the emphasis more on Chelsea coming up short with 10,
well, the important
as opposed to Arsenal going for the throat and winning it?
When you consider that the away games that Arsenal have played in this season and the week they've had, again, these are big games, Jim. Local rivals.
Yeah, but
Spurs.
this was a big game yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And they went into the game hampered with injury. The back four at the end of the game, there was only one member of the regular back four still on the pitch. Calafiori had to go off because he'd had a booking. Supermendy, who sits in, he's the sort of structure, the player that sits so that Declan can now find this new position. So all in all, I think Arsenal will be happy with that. I think actually it's not a bad point. It was more important that Chelsea didn't win this game.
I think it's a good point. I think it's an example of Arsenal's credentials that they can win the Premier League, that they go to an informed Chelsea that are full of confidence, who, by the way, have had the same week as Arsenal because they played Barcelona.
Yeah.
So the idea that, Arsenal turned Ben White into a right-back. He was a centre-back. So they're now reaping the consequences of that because he can't play in that position anymore because they've got a better right-back than when Ben White started. So the circumstances are that Arsenal lost their central defender. Chelsea lost a player. So that was equalised out. So put aside the narrative that Martin wants to spin that they've got players out. I think it's an indication of Arsenal's credentials to go into this game and get something out of it, because Chelsea are in very, very good nick. They're full of confidence, and I expected them to get something out of this game. I am not surprised it was a draw. However the draw manifested itself, I think it's a good draw for Arsenal. Of course, if they went there and beat Chelsea, of course, if they went there and won, everyone would be saying it's nailed on. But I actually think that it shows you that this Arsenal side, who I think are a better side than Chelsea at this moment in time. I think they're a more mature side, they're more seasoned, but Chelsea are nipping at their heels. And what we're seeing now, despite what we all envisaged the season would look like, it looks to me like that Chelsea are going to be the people that are going to perhaps push Arsenal. Liverpool are going to find themselves, they're going to recover, and all of this nonsense about Liverpool will find itself getting together. Man City are not the same team as they were. They're a beatable side. The psychological approach that teams have towards Man City is now gone. They're not beaten in the tunnel anymore, so Man City can be beaten. So it's Arsenal's title, and Chelsea, I think, will be the one that's pushing them. So I'm not surprised it ended in a draw, and I think the fact that Chelsea were highly motivated is A, a credit to Arsenal and their performances, but B, so they should be.
But were they too? Like we've sat here last year.
That's rich coming from
We've sat here last year, and you said, "Oh, Arsenal, look, another player sent off. Ill discipline is going to cost them." But
that was last year.
Yeah, but the narrative's changed, isn't it now?
This season, don't they?
So look at Chelsea. They've had 4 games. They've lost a player. If they hadn't
Chelsea are where Arsenal were a year ago.
Yeah.
And by the way, Arsenal are 6 years into a project, and Maresco's 2 years into it.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's ownership are 3.5 years into it.
Let's look at what's happened the last 2. You're referring to last season, so I'm taking you back to last season.
Not.
When everyone said Arsenal were ill-disciplined. The narrative's slightly different, isn't it? Chelsea, without that ill-discipline, would probably be 1 or 2 points behind Arsenal right now.
Maybe.
So
but I wasn't making that comparison.
On the inside, I'm pretty certain today someone's saying, do you know what, that's amazing what we did yesterday.
I wasn't
really aggressive, but we've gone over the top a little bit.
I wasn't making that comparison. And what I was saying is that Arsenal, I think, are a project that's further ahead than Chelsea. My argument is that Chelsea were highly motivated, and fair play to them. Now, I'd rather have them highly motivated than the manager having to rein them in rather than pushing them forward, which is to some extent what was happening last season.
That was their title edition yesterday, though. Did Chelsea come up short?
Well, I don't think they were auditioning for the title. I think they're auditioning for being a very competitive side that are knocking on winning a Premier League much sooner than most people anticipate, because 18 months ago everybody
were they not going for the title yesterday?
Because they're not good enough. They're going for it. They're not good enough, in my view, to overcome Arsenal. Arsenal right now are the best team in the Premier League, and there is a debate to say they're pushing to be the best team in Europe.
But are they now the challengers? That's what you're telling me this Monday morning.
That's what I think.
They are the challengers to Arsenal.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
And I think that's Maresca last year. He told us they weren't in the title race, and it pretty well blew up. Do you remember him saying that on Boxing Day?
And then he spent the end of the season telling everyone how the media had talked it down.
Exactly that. He swapped places. But I think now that they're ready to win something. I mean, look, they're the World Club champions.
Of course.
So this is a good group, whatever
Todd
you
Bowley
look at.
told me after they won that thing that it's not a morning that everybody doesn't waking up at Chelsea and think, today's the day we're going to win something significant. This was Maresca on Chelsea's title challenge.
Once again, I sometimes I think I'm a little bit bored, but bored in terms of boring, I have to say again the same. If in February, March we are where we are now, we're gonna be for title. But we are still, end of November, December. Now we are Leeds away Wednesday. It's a very difficult game, so you need to, to be there every time. But for sure, Arsenal tonight, Barcelona the other day, Liverpool, PSG.
He's not been drawn into it yet, Simon. Yeah, maybe February, March we'll talk about the title, but not yet.
Well, that's right. But internally, he will talk about the mechanisms that are being deployed. He says that keep on playing in these big games, keep on getting these results against big opposition, the team will start to build. He can talk, him next door to me, he can talk more about the idea of what belief looks like. I look at from the outside in and having worked with players as an owner, think that they should have the belief system. But there's a difference between thinking you can do something and really believing and knowing you can do it. And I think Arsenal now are in the camp of knowing they can do something, and Chelsea are moving towards that. And I think that's a different psychological approach. It's that extra 2 or 3% in a game that either gives you the know-how, the determination, or the resilience to overcome something, but it might be challenging in a fixture.
Yeah. When you look at it, Martin, and you look at it in the cold light of day, is it a good point for Arsenal, or is it a slight
just to go back to Marasca,
opportunity?
let's go back to Marasca just for a minute. I think he's managing the expectations better this season. Last year, to say no, we're not prospective champions, that pretty well cost them any chance or any opportunity, and you see where it derailed them. This year, they're much more collective. No Palmer, who sits on the bench. By the way, when he gets fit again, he's going to be winning games for them. But up to now, they've coped really well without him. I think from an Arsenal point of view, to keep that 6 points between them and Chelsea was quite key. And it was important that they didn't lose the game. So no ground has been lost, Jim.
Yeah.
Had they lost the game, we're down to 3 points. And then the narrative is, Arsenal have started to bottle it again.
Okay.
I didn't see anyone bottling it yesterday.
Let's put it out there this morning, Arsenal fans.
It was 2 years ago, you old victims complex. No one's saying it now. They said it 2 years ago. Get over
Just
it.
closing it off before you start.